Well, hello. Apologize for missing a bit of the beginning there, but we've got two good games going on. We've got the Rock Bottoms with Jesus Barajas and um, Kelly Bishop, Christopher Mina, and Erica E-Rock on sheet two, playing Electric Slide, who is PN Raju, Nolan Enstrom, Richmond Wong, and Peter Zerzan. On sheet one, we have Great Big T, Doug Pengelly, Stephen Marshall, Ted Wilson, Jennifer Webster. Those are from Hyde Park Curling Club and San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club. The previous were all from San Francisco. And then we have David and the Goliaths. That team is skipped by Dave Weeson, who had been sitting here watching every shot the last three ends of the previous game, making sure he knows that sheet one ice. He is followed by Alex Baxter is playing vice for him, Dan Myers second, and we've got Weston Kurlinchek throwing lead rocks. Great Big T is throwing blue, where David and the Goliaths are throwing red rocks. On sheet two, Jesus Barajas is calling shot for Kelly Bishop, setting up in the hack, about to deliver her blue rock. Apologize for being late. I was trying to find my co-anchor for this broadcast. I'm Evan Elliott, and I was supposed to have a Paul Zaka, bit of the Paul Zaka experience, but unfortunately don't have that. So Electric Slide continues to sit one on sheet two against Rock Bottoms. Takeout spills on sheet one, leaving David and the Goliaths still with one in the house, but a lot of blue sitting around that. David signaling that he's interested in a rock just biting the 8-foot. Electric Sliders trying to bring in a rock to freeze to that blue one placed there by Kelly Bishop. Not quite getting it. Jesus is interested in just ticking off that rock, sliding back, and taking out the one that's sitting on the side of the 4-foot. Kelly's rock underway. Kelly is the sole person on this team not from. Oh, I'm sorry. Erica's from the. Oh, wrecked on the guard, sliding in, end up moving some stuff around, not changing it too much. So it's saying Kelly Bishop is from. I believe she's here representing the Canadian Border Guard as Officer Bishop. And Erica Alstock Johnson is from the Orange County Curling Club. Other two members, Chris Vermina and Jesus Barajas, both curl in Oakland in the San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club. Kelly Bishop curls in the Dixie Curling Club. Quite a bit of discussion going on sheet one about this shot. Skips rocks. We have Raju in the hack for electric slide. Trying to come in. Looks like they're calling positive handle, and like we discussed, that can be a lot of swing on this sheet. He may be able to make it through that port and get down to his own rock. Big sweep, trying to bring it in. End up narrowing that port for Jesus. Jesus appears to be considering which rock he could hit off of in order to come in and get at that rock on the button. Alex Baxter holding broom for David Wiesen on David and the Goliaths. Jesus Barajas rock underway. That characteristic very low slide. Falls it down the ice. Sweeper's called on. Can he get a piece of it? Roll to the middle. Really, really nice shot, but not quite enough to get that rock out. Just needed a little bit less of that rock. Big sweeping, trying to get it behind cover on sheet one. End up moving it well to the back. It still sits shot rock, but gives an opportunity for a freeze. Not able to really get it under cover. Raju brooming way outside. Looking to get that big swing, I guess, from that bit of curl. Curling into the fall. You can get at least 6 feet there, probably more. Rock underway from Great Big T. They want it just on the top of the forefoot. Get that last minute curl coming through. End up ticking pretty much in exactly the spot they want. Score 1 for Great Big T in the first end. Wiesen goes into the second with hammer. Raju ends up getting caught in the weeds out on the outside of that sheet and hogging his rock. Jesus Barajas rock underway, trying to get in that other way. Kelly hoping it'll come back, hoping. That curl is not coming to her like she thought. And again, caught in that unbroken pebble, unused pebble out on the sides. Rock just dies. That's a steal of 1 in the first end for Electric Slide. David calling for a guard biting the top of the 12-foot. Raju's rock ends up curling quite a bit, sliding a little deeper than he wanted, biting the 8-foot. Erica's first rock underway. Jesus looking for that freeze. Looks like it comes up just a bit short, but not bad at all. Seconds rocks underway for Great Big T. Coming in really hot. Misses. Oh, just nudges his own in the back. David and the Goliaths sitting 1, looking for the split. Raju's rock following Erica's down. That's a rock from lead Peter Zerzan. Jesus hoping to get a sweep on that nudge, but really just nothing there. Looking for back of the house weight just to raise his own, nudging Electric Slide's red rock out. Very nice little split by Dan Myers on David and the Goliaths. Jesus calling his sweepers off. Erica's rock running 2 straight. Weight was pretty good. Ends up in the back of the house, but it is shot. Big weight coming for the double hit. Did not get it. A second flash on sheet 1 for Great Big T. Like Raju is trying to come down, be in front of that back rock. Electric Slide. Got their second throwing. Nicely thrown rock. Just a little bit more weight than they wanted, and Jesus is able to sweep it back. Just a nudge off, rub off his. Fighting the back line. Jesus is probably the best sweeper of any skip that I know. Played with him a lot myself. If a rock's moving, he will move it farther. There's no doubt about that. Definitely won some games from those couple extra inches his ferocious sweeping gets you. Looking to repeat this. Bringing it in. This is Chris Mina's first rock. Mina playing second. Ends up on his own rock, but sliding for a near freeze on the red rock in the back. After 3 attempts, Great Big T finally gets that double hit that they were looking for when David's rock did not go quite where he wanted and ended up setting up that double. Looking for a hit of his own from Vice Alex Baxter, a really great hitter. I think he probably would like a little bit of that back rock too if he can get it. On this line, that's maybe all he can get. Oh, just got it. Move it out. Shooter does not stay in the rings. Raju's rock follows Chris's down, but ends up in the back, forming a nice pocket. Looks like Jesus wants to bring it undercover behind those rocks at the front of the house. Still playing positive handle for that big swing. Curious sweeping by Kelly and Erica. Come off. Stephen Marshall delivering on sheet 1. Really that perfect rock that he was looking for, I think. A little bit deep, giving Raju the chance to freeze. Jesus really wanted that rock to stay above. And we have our third flash on Great Big T, having trouble with that, with the lines on that sheet. David calling negative for his Vice. Raju is able to nudge that rock back and nudge the other blue rock back, but while he is sitting 1, Jesus is sitting 2 and 3. It gives a potential opportunity. Nice draw to the top of the house on sheet 1 from David and the Goliaths. They do have backing there, although with that curl, unclear whether it can be hard to get that nose hit even if you're trying for it. Jesus looking for a freeze on the top of that. I'm concerned he doesn't quite have enough ice. He's got that other handle, but it may still back up a little bit away from the center line. Calling his sweepers on. Bring it as far as possible, dragging it in the house. Trying to get at least a piece of the floor. Oh, just came up dead on the top of the 8. Giving Raju a chance to set up a guard and try to just lock in that steal for 1. A lot of discussion between Stephen Marshall and Skip Doug Pengelly on sheet 1. Raju's rock has good weight, but it's just not curling like he expected it to. Leaving a guard, but not really enough to keep it away from, keep that rock open, block that port. Jesus taking less ice, continuing with the negative handle. If you can get to the inside of that, that would be nice. There is that cover from that top rock. Rock underway on sheet 1 from Doug Pengelly, Skip of Great Big T. Sweep in hard, trying to keep it on. Get it. Oh, that roll behind that that red rock is really key there, but it's probably open for a tap, low weight tap. Kelly Bishop's rock comes in very nicely, perhaps a little bit overswept to get it past that guard, fighting the back of the 4-foot. Jesus is sitting number 2, 3, and 4, but unfortunately Raju still has that one all the way in the 4-foot on the first for first rock. Not sure exactly what David's calling, but looking like negative, and that speed is definitely looking like up weight. Not calling the sweepers on. I think they decided it was coming out a little too much and hoping to... Oh, just got that corner of it. Great shot by Dave Wiesen. Looking like it was over curling to me. Set up the double, but like we've seen before, I can be really hard on this ice, and they've flashed some before. Currently, David and Goliaths sitting 2. Raju's rock coming down the ice on sheet 1. Skip PN Raju for the electric slide. Really takes a dive there. Coming in hot, sweeping, try to keep it straight, but end up giving it just a little nudge to that blue rock. Not a bad shot though, because that really prevents that run back that Jesus could have tried. Probably if Jesus is going to come in, he's probably going to have to sacrifice at least one of those blue rocks in the back. He really wants to get at least 2 here. That 3 would be great, but if you can, even if you end up doubling your own out and you can move that red rock out of the 4-foot, that would be a victory, since he still has hammer left to be thrown. Looks like Great Big T is going for a straight hit on that one red rock. I think they're trying to redo that shot they just did, where they roll behind the red rock from David and Goliath. Let's see if Lightning can hit strike the same place twice. It was really an amazing shot before. Jesus out of the hack. Good amount of weight. Calling sweeping on. Just skirting the inside of that line. Oh. Gets it, removes one back, removes some of the backing. Hard to tell who is first. On sheet 1, Great Big T makes their takeout, but spills well out of the 8-foot. That rock is not likely to come into play. Just a straight draw from David and the Goliaths. Dave Wiesen, great drawer. And he's got backing, so this should be a shot that he would make 9 out of 10 times, if not 10 out of 10 times. Sweepers are off it, which is not a good sign. Ends up heavy, but hits the mark. He may have actually been going for that takeout. Takeout for 2 on sheet 1, David and the Goliaths. Raju's second rock. Looks like he's going for that raise. Really needs a lot of weight if he's going to get that. Comes up short. There's a hit there for Jesus. Just getting the outside of the rock, spitting it through there. Possibly catching one of that other one in the back. It's hard to know who is sitting fourth, but if he's able to sit Maybe just bring that rock through that port and keep a shooter. He should have 4 here. Jesus Barajas out of the hack, underway. Rock coming down. Kelly calling low. Just needs to curl. Oh, he's on the wrong side of it. Did not make it past that guard. Surprising result there. Judging from the quick moving of the rocks, I would say that that is 1 red, but we'll have to confirm that when they hang the score. Rocks out of the house for Great Big T. Looks like a hit from the weight. Just a nudge and not able to keep the shooter. With that fall there, that rock is in a pretty good position. It is difficult to get rocks that are that far over. Strange strategies start coming up when you're playing with that much fall. Nudging rocks over to the side can mean that they're very difficult to get with a straight takeout. Peter Zerzen's first rock from Electric Slide ends up just on the outside of the center line. Jesus Barajas calling for a corner guard. A lot of sweeping on sheet 1 to bring Weston Curling Checks rock to a nice center guard. Weight looks a little hot from Erica on the rock bottoms. Very heavy. Raju is able to carry it through the house. Jesus looking for the same shot again from Erica Houstock Johnson. This time weight's better. I'm sweeping. Not a lot of curl to that rock. Bring it in the house. Right to the edge of the 4-foot. Great Big T. I'm sorry, David and Goliaths, Alex Baxter's rock, Dan Meyer's rock, comes in, freezes to his own. Great Big T signaling that they want backline hit, try to spill some of those, at least create some separation. Electric Slide. Can't keep the line straight for the freeze, end up moving to that corner. Jesus asking for a really deep guard, something to help prevent the takeout. He wants them lined up really perfectly. And on the top of the 8-foot. Great Big T makes a really nice hit, definitely more than backline weight, which I thought was what he was signaling. End up removing the back one, but give some protection to David Wiesen's red rock, which appears from this angle to be shot rock. Dan Meyer's second rock underway. Rock from Electric Slide coming down the other side of the ice, trying to draw in. And if get that curl late, not enough weight to get shot rock, but not in a terrible position. Jesus asking Chris Fermina play same rock again, put it up front. Big weight from Great Big T coming back, trying to get rock theirs into, oh no, trying to straight hit. Really nice roll behind cover. Being behind the tee, however, David has a chance to get backing. He's trying for the hit and roll. Chris's rock coming down. Looks like it's on the guard. Rolls out. Pushing Electric Slide's red rock into the 12-foot. Alex Baxter's first rock, trying for that hit and roll, but not quite enough. Just barely, not quite enough ice. Just slides through. Raju going for the hit on Rock Bottom's blue rock at the top of the 4-foot. Curling quite a bit, but it looks like they may still be able to get it from the outside and roll over to their own. Joined in the booth by Jim Muyo, who is drinking a Canadian, but did not bring a thirsty commenter of beer. That'll be forgiven this time.
My apologies for that, Evan. I'll be sure to grab your order next time I'm down at the barn.
I do have to be on the ice again at 2, so I probably shouldn't be drinking too much at this point. Instead, I've just been eating all the jelly beans I can get my hands on, since someone put a bowl here in the booth.
Definitely one of the nice things about being in a Bonspiel is there are snack foods and munchies about all weekend long. With the schedule being what it is, kind of keeping to conventional meals can become difficult depending on what your draw times are. So folks tend to graze and eat throughout the day as opposed to loading up at those conventional meal times.
Absolutely, and it also gives you a good reason to drink before noon.
Yes.
I'm not going to say I haven't had a beer already today.
For those of you wondering, it is now 12:42 p.m. Pacific time.
Jim is within the acceptable drinking limits. Alex Baxter made a very nice hit there, coming off that one on the outside and nudging the Great Big T-Rock further back into the 12-foot. He rolled further, so he's not behind cover, but he does have backing there. Stephen Marshall throwing Vice Rocks for Great Big T. Hard to tell the angle from this line, but it does look like that is narrow. I think they're definitely playing a plan B, trying to move some of those rocks into the house.
Yeah, narrow.
Oh no, that's not a plan B. I'm not sure what they were. I'm not sure why they didn't just come off it, since they ended up promoting David and the Goliaths red rock. Yeah.
No, it was narrow and they knew it, and they were trying. Looks like they may have been trying to sweep that in order to actually get it past past the nose of that red rock, but unfortunately didn't come over quite far enough, and winds up raising that red rock in.
Hit coming down from Kelly Bishop. Ends up getting one of Raju's rocks, nestling in there against the other blue. Not shot, but not a bad rock placement either. Looks like Raju's trying to figure out who's third on that.
Yeah, it's close there.
It's definitely close, and unfortunately we don't have those overhead cameras that a lot of clubs have because we do not yet have dedicated ice at San Francisco Bay Area Curling Club. You can see on your screen that there is a dedicated ice fund. We would love your support so that next year we can be broadcasting in a better booth with better cameras. David Wiesen's first rock underway on sheet 1 for the Goliaths. Just looking to nudge his rock back a little bit. They focus more on line. Comes up, not bad. It prevents that run back on his shot rock. He does not have hammer, so well, maybe I'm wrong. Looks like Great Big T thinks that they can get to that one at a sufficient angle. I thought they would go for the double, which is pretty obvious on those two top rocks.
Yeah, not quite sure what the ice is going to do. Again, as I just joined you here in the booth, unfortunately haven't been watching much of this game so far, but if it does try that, it'll be interesting to see what happens down the middle of that line. As we were watching this sheet yesterday, that middle line, particularly at that end of sheet 1, had a lot of unpredictability to it.
There's still definitely some unpredictability from the beginning of this game. Great Big T has flashed some takeouts that they really thought, it looked like they really thought they should have made.
Yeah, they did. The ice crew here did do a full scrape of all 5 sheets this morning before draw number 7. So, as you know, from scrape to scrape, some of the finer points of the ice can change. So it's always interesting to see what stays and what changes with every scrape.
Looks like there may be some more consistency than there had been yesterday. And there's definitely that fall. A lot of conversation happening on both these sheets as devices and their skips debate what these last shots should be.
Yeah, very critical shots right now on both sheets.
Jesus does not want to give up another steal. Knowing him, at this point he may rather just take one and move on with the game rather than trying for 2 and missing it, but he does still have an opportunity. Looks like maybe he's trying to just nudge that rock back a little bit into the scoring position, which would give him a chance of drawing for 2. But he has reconsidered. Very thoughtful skip. We have Paul in the hack on sheet 1 for Great Big T. The first of his 2 rocks, he does have hammer. Looking to get rid of at least one of those red rocks. He would really like to get rid of 2, specifically that one on the forefoot. Rock is underway. Again, hard to tell, but it looks like it is crossed the center line.
About control weight here.
Comes down a little bit there at the end. He is...
Oh,
that is tough. Able to move those rocks around, change those angles, which may be beneficial for him later, but not quite what he wanted.
Yeah, Great Big T does have hammer here in the third end. Now each team with 1 rock remaining. So the line to that rock now that's sitting back 4, pretty wide open. But again, as we said earlier, it'll be interesting to see what the ice does, not just now, but over the course of the game on that.
Absolutely. Fortunately, missed exactly what happened on Jesus' last rock there. Things look roughly unchanged on sheet 2. I was played on that sheet earlier, and there are definitely some challenging lines. really need your weight right, because different weight, even though the ice wasn't too bad, different weights would cause very different things to go, even if you just had had a foot or two difference.
Sheet 2 that was?
Sheet 2, yeah. Nice little play by David and the Goliaths, nestling in with those 2 rocks. Great big T, a hit there would likely spill those back 2, but you're not going to move that one in the front. I would suspect they would just go for the draw, because the button is open. You can still make it in there to get 1, but they're definitely considering their options.
Yeah, an attempt on a hit and roll here. At best, you're gonna move those 2 reds sitting behind the shooter that just came down. Your shooter's just getting jammed, so you've got to have a very precise roll to come in off of that in order to sit for 1 here.
Yeah, maybe they're just debating what ice you can have to actually get in there, but it seems like all they need to do is follow David Wiesen down with just a couple inches more ice, and they'd probably have it. No sweeping on sheet 2 for electric slide. They get their center guard positioned, making it difficult for Jesus to come in for his 1.
Yeah, very tough shot coming up here for Jesus.
Looks like he has decided to go for that 1, but maybe change his mind. Hard to tell. He does take risks at times. When I played on this sheet, you could get a very straight draw on this line playing negative handle.
Hammerstone now coming down on 1 for Great Big T. See what they're able to do with that. Drawing against 3, maybe 4 right now.
Looks like 4. Hard to say, though. Keeping now, trying to bring it in. Trying to keep it straight, really. That had a little more weight than they were bargaining. Just kind of spill against those. Rolling to the middle for their 1.
Very nice. Very nice touch. Barajas now getting ready for his hammer shot in the 3rd end on sheet 2. After he makes that shot, we'll take you around the rest of the rink and give you a score update with some of the other action. And the shot is away.
Sweeper's coming on. Jesus yelling for him. Kelly's looking a little concerned. I think they're playing Plan B. Rub theirs in, and they get their 1.
Very nice. Very nice.
Great skips have those Plan Bs, and that really was that Plan B. He knew that if he overcurled, they could get that promotion rather than just that straight draw in. Very nice shot, and that brings us to 2-1 on sheet 2, and I believe we are at 4-2 on sheet 1. I'm sorry, we are tied up at 2 on sheet 1.
Yeah, tied 2-2 with Great Big T getting 1 there in the 3rd to tie that game at 2. Quickly, we'll take you around the rest of the rink. We'll actually start far away from us and come back. Our game on sheet 5 right now, which is Game of Stones versus We Drink to Forget, So We Pay in Advance. A big early lead for Game of Stones with a score of 3 in the 1st and a steal of 2 in the 5th. We Drink to Forget was able to come back with 1 in the 3rd, so that game now is 5-1 in favor of Game of Stones. They are about halfway through the 4th end on that sheet. On sheet 4, we have the Ivy Leaguers versus Broomer Sooners, a couple of local teams there. And that game appears to be all tied 3 apiece through the 3rd end. That game also just beginning end number 4. And over on sheet 3, we have Ewok Party from Orange County Curling Club taking on the Kiddos, our junior team here from San Francisco. The Kiddos with 1 in the first, but Ewok Party's been able to build up a little bit of a lead with a 2 spot in the second and then a steal of 3 in the third. So that game is now 5-1 Ewok Party through 3.
Draw from Peter Zivin, his guard from Peter Zivin on sheet 2 for Electric Slide. Comes up heavy, ends up nicely placed on the center line, but at least half of the 4, which is not what Raju wanted. Jesus is coming, looks like he's coming after that rock. Erica Hallstock Johnson delivering there. A lot of weight, and that rock is not coming back. That was came almost straight through where Jesus broomed that. Not sure if it was offline, but I do know that it runs really straight when you're playing negative on that line.
Yeah, not a lot of movement at all there. And assuming that shot is open, Jesus is going to definitely try to punch that out again. Really no hesitation there by Jesus to go ahead and get rid of that one there. We definitely see, and we see this with all the skips. We see, them take a little bit more time with some shots, a little less time with others. And, depend. Some of them are very obvious, others can be very critical. So that one's a bit of a no-brainer. So Electric Slide able to put a guard up to protect against that second attempt on that.
Nice guard there.
Yeah, so that's going to force Barajas to call for a come around here. Looks like he's going to try to draw to the button. Here comes that draw. Sweepers are on this one right away.
Trying to get it by that rock. And just don't. Spilling his rock towards the center line. David Wiesen going for a draw on sheet 1 with David and the Goliaths. Dan Myers, their second delivering. Calling forfeit of ice. Negative handle. We'll see where that ends up. Furious sweeping. Myers coming in.
Yeah, Myers even joining the sweep.
Able to bring it into the 4-foot, but they did not get any curl to find that rock. Ball did not help them out that time. Not sure what that shot was from Electric Slide, but they end up moving Jesus's guard close to the house, giving him a nice corner guard there. Maybe something he can play with.
Raju actually getting a very nice roll off of that shooter, moving back over to right about the same position where Barajas had his guard prior to his previous shot.
Really?
So Raju able to effectively just swap guards with Barajas there.
Really nice shot from Great Big T, just catching the inside of David's rock. Unfortunately, they were not able to keep the shooter. Looks like Wiesen is unsure exactly who is shot there, but I think, judging by his choice, he thinks that he is shot. Guard is moved over on sheet 2, out to the corner of the rings. I believe that shot made by Chris Mina at second position. I like that line call from Raju. He's just a little bit over to the side. He's calling negative. Trying to get probably something pretty close to the house that will guard his rock. Alex Baxter comes up light on his draw over on sheet 1. Ends up piling up on top of that guard. very, very light on sheet 2, end up hogging that rock.
Yeah, that hogged by a good margin there. Just a bit too light. Line looked really good on that, though.
Line looked good. This gives Jesus an opportunity to get his vice, Kelly Bishop, to get a hit. I think he'd like to just come across the face of that. He doesn't want a nose hit, but a roll of either way would be beneficial to him. Coming down, there's no sweeping, just off the center line. Looks like she may just get it. Going to the side, behind cover, which isn't bad. Unfortunately, not able to remove that red rock. I'm not sure you can hit that blue rock, but with the amount of curl from the help by the fall, you definitely can get that freeze that Raju seems to be interested in. It's funny, a lot of skips only crouch like that if they are calling for a takeout, because they need to see that very infinitesimal movement that a takeout does. Raju seems to like to squat when he's calling any shots. Good line, good curl on that, but just not enough weight to bring it to where they needed it to be. Interesting call. Oh, just a diversion from Great Big T on David's rock on sheet 1. Moving it so that it is not shot rock anymore, but losing their shooter. David gets a chance of pushing his rock back into the rings behind those guards. Because he's playing with the fall on this. Yelling for hard sweeping. Those sweepers are really digging in there, trying to get every last bit of too much, actually. Needed to come off. They came very close to that little bit of a tick that they would need to maybe get that back one too.
Yeah. It looks like perhaps if there is a little bit of a fall moving from the center line towards sheet 3, so that'd be towards the left-hand side of your screen. If Raha thought that wasn't going to get the rock at the forefoot, maybe he was just trying to tick off that one at the top 12. Trying to sweep it into the fall.
David's raise works, but does not get behind the guard. He ends up angling it to the side. Jesus sweeping, trying to get Raju's rock as far back as possible, ends up to the edge of the 8-foot. That is still second shot, I believe. Jesus changing his strategy, looking to call that draw. Kelly Bishop carrying back that unusual slider that I found out that was won by Lorene at a Bonspiel silent auction. It is a seal. She's hoping to get a custom panda made in the future, but right now she's working with that seal, and she has loaned it to Erica after I attempted to fix Erica's slider and ended up shattering it.
Oh dear.
Yes. I apparently don't know my own strength. I was very upset that it was not well aligned.
Oh,
and
you did this?
I did this, yes.
Oh dear.
I was
That's not good.
little rough trying to get it to be aligned, and ended up breaking the PVC. This shot looks a bit light from Jesus. Well, no, it's really sliding there. But he does have backing. That ends up just past T. You'd like that a little bit higher and a little bit further to the left of your screen there. still. I think he's happy that he's got a bit of his draw weight back. Seems to be struggling a little bit in the beginning of the sheet. Skip Raju for electric slide. Looks like he's trying to just follow Jesus right down that line, freeze to him on top of that button. That'd be a very hard rock to move. Whereas on sheet 1, we've got David Wiesen in the hack. The first of his 2 rocks. Judging by the ice, he is trying to draw in. He may not be worried about being a little bit heavy because he's got that backing and certainly wouldn't mind moving that rock a little bit. Raju's rock just making it by that guard. Picking his own out, but rolling into the perfect, almost the perfect place.
Very nice. Almost corner frozen to that blue now sitting back 4.
We can't see the angles perfectly from here, and especially now that both Kelly and Raju are in the way. But in my glimpse, I was thinking that maybe if Jesus can get to the inside of that rock, he may be able to cause it to spill backwards through that port while dragging his rock back and keeping it in the rings. Hard to say.
Yeah, it's there. Barajas' rock would need to stop. He'd still need to be biting the forefoot, probably on the left-hand side if he were to get to the inside of Raju's shot rock. The one thing you got to worry about is if that shot rock jams on Raju's rock that's currently sitting on the right-hand side of the back 8. It might be the angle though if at the right weight that it would actually wind up just splitting those 2 red rocks off to the back right-hand side. So that would definitely a delicate shot for Barajas, but a makeable shot.
Looking out the window, there is a little bit of separation between those 2 rocks. So if he's able to get low weight, he may be able to even just tap it, not worrying about jamming on that other red rock, and having his shooter stay, not affecting that blue rock behind it, and end up sitting 2 in the forefoot. Definitely a tricky shot. On sheet 1, great big T, going for the freeze to that rock just past T that David put there. Zeus rock underway, no sweeping. It is crossing the center line. Oh! Difficult and good weight. If he just wanted to move that just a little bit, that was a great shot. Great weight for that, but he ends up sitting in the back of the house. Raju still has to come in and figure out a way to get close enough to be first and second if he wants to get his 2.
Yeah, that's going to be very difficult. He's got to move. He's either got to put himself in a position where he's able to move one of those blue rocks and keep the shooter around, or move both of those blue rocks out so that way one of the 2 that are sitting in the back 8 are counting for second shot. So he's got a couple of possibilities. It looks like he's calling the line for. Looks like maybe
a tap.
I'm thinking the tap. I'm thinking he's looking to tap the shot rock back and just punch that blue one back just a little bit. And hopefully bite enough of the forefoot with the shooter.
Later in the game, if you're down, I do think there is a run back on that red at the top of the 12-foot to double out those blues, but it's not worth it at this point in the game.
No, definitely not.
Oh, he's coming over far. Looks like he was going for a straight attack. Ends up getting one of the blues, but that is not enough for the second shot.
No, not
So we
quite.
have 1 for electric slide. Furious sweeping on sheet 2. Start sheet 1, trying to raise it in.
And he's got there.
He's got 2. Trying to decide on who's third, I think.
Yeah, 2 for sure for.
I can't see it being 4
for David and the Goliaths.
but it could be 3. Looks like. Personally, I hate that broom measurement. Using the broom to measure on the lines, you don't know where the lines are. I say if it's close enough that you can't decide pretty quickly, just get out the measuring tool. Figure that out.
Yeah. But either way, it was enough for them to eyeball it there. So we'll see what gets hung. But just to recap, that was a score of 1 for Electric Slide there in the 4th end. So that game now 3-1 in favor of Electric Slide through 4. We have a scoring update for you over on sheet 5. That is Game of Stones versus We Drink to Forget. We Drink to Forget with a steal of 3 in the 4th end, so making that game a close one. That game now, Game of Stones leading 5-4 through 4 ends. They have started the 5th end, so a nice steal there to make it a 1-rock game.
Looks like Ivy Leaguers and Broomer Sooners are still 3-3.
Yeah, they've actually moved on to the 5th end on that sheet.
Have not hung that previous score.
So we'll get you an update on that as soon as we can. Same situation over with Ewok Party. They have not hung the score of the 4th end, but they have moved over to 5. So that game was 5-1 Ewok Party through 3. They're in the 5th end. So again, when we get that 4th end score, we'll bring that to you as well. As always, throughout the course of this the day and the entire Bonspiel, you can follow along online with live scoring at bonspieler.com. See the URL there at the top of your screen. That'll have all of the live scoring action from here in Fremont all weekend long.
Try to update that as much as we can, but again, you never know exactly what the scores are until they're hung, and that not all vices are as up on it as others. Myself, I tend to forget if I'm vicing. Sometimes I go 2-3 ends without remembering to hang the store until someone handily reminds me.
Gives you a little wink, wink, nudge, nudge, right?
Little punch, punch, elbow, elbow.
Oh, maybe. Game's rough with you.
Generally, it's the other team. They just want something.
They just want to see it.
They're like, we're hanging our 7th end score. Why is there no 5th and 6th end up there?
Speaking of score updates, they have gone ahead and hung the score for the 4th end on sheet 1. They are scoring that as 2 for David and the Goliaths in the 4th end there. So that game now 4-2 in favor of David and the Goliaths through 4th end.
Chris Mina coming up a little bit hot on that last. I think it was Erica Houstock Johnson coming up a little hot on that, ending up just biting the back of the 12-foot. Looking for a hit on sheet 1, but it looks like they are on that guard, trying to keep that line, not raise it, but instead split those, open up that middle a bit. Nice guard biting the top of the 12 by Electric Slide. Jesus electing to try to open up that middle a bit so he can have access to that 1 in the 4-foot. Calling for Chris Mina to hit or peel that top red guard. Sam Myers looking to replace that guard for David and the Goliaths on sheet 1. Last little bit of curl at the very end, bringing it really close to the house. Not quite covering it, but definitely making it a more difficult shot to make, especially on this ice where you have much less ability to curl towards the boards than you do away.
Quick scoring update now on sheet 4. They have hung the score there, and it's Broomer Sooners now taking the lead in that game with a steal of 2 in the fourth end. Broomer Sooners now lead 5-3 over the Ivy Leaguers through 4.
Guard removed on sheet 1 by Great Big T. Jesus looking to get rid of something up top. In out of the hack, rock going, immediately called on. Line is probably tight. Called off for the curl. Past the first guard and spills both of the other guards.
Wow.
One remains in the house all the way on the edge. Now it's a bunch of blue up front, no red. Guard replaced by David and the Goliaths. Very nicely done. Just biting the 12-foot on the side of the center line, covering it up. Like Great Big T wants to remove that. Ideally, they would like to get a piece of that back one too. See how it goes. This rock travels down. Sweeping at the end. Got the edge. Just nudging it over. Not able to. On sheet 2, electric slide. Tries to come around, ends up wrecking on that guard, moving Jesus' guard further towards the center line. He's consulting with his vice. Like he's deciding that they just need to clear that front and continue to try to take these hits on these guards.
Yeah, that's a smart move here. You're down. You're down in the end. So you're down by 2. You're about halfway through the game, but now it's time putting yourself in position to get points on the board. And unfortunately, right now those guards.
He doesn't have hammer. I mean, in a lot of ways, those guards would help him, but unfortunately, he just can't get to that.
He can't get to the spot exactly.
Yeah.
So right now, they're not helping him. He's able to move one, but just replaces it with the shooter.
Yeah, the line's a little bit different. There may be something to come in there. Still has that high guard, but that's a very long run back to me. I do think he can get it around his guard, bring it into the foot.
And I believe Barajas does actually have hammer in this end. Yeah,
Didn't he take 1 in the last end?
I believe that was electric slide. They've not actually hung the score, but I do believe that was a score of 1 for electric slide in the fourth.
Gotcha.
And actually looking at the
definitely Jesus would not want that center gummed up like.
Yeah, and looking at the rocks remaining down at the near end, yeah, Barajas with 3 rocks remaining, and electric slide with 2 rocks remaining. Barajas with.
Electric slide attempts to play the raise as that rock over curls, but not able to. Jesus calling here to bring it into T-line. He thinks he can make through that port, come on the outside, and that would give him something that he can play with later. Even if he's not sitting, he may be able to run it back on that rock. Alex Baxter throwing rock on sheet 1. Kelly Bishop out of the hack on sheet 2. Looks like a low weight takeout on a freeze tap back. Freeze. Trying to bring it as deep as they can. Ferocious sweeping. Nicely played on sheet 1. Sheet 2, they continue to have problems with wrecking with all those guards.
Yeah, they were able to promote that, move that guard that was sitting just outside the house closest to the rings. They were able to move that up, but not quite enough to get that into the house. So unfortunately, just creating a bit of a larger logjam at the front for Barajas.
Big weight coming on sheet 1. Ends up moving that rock, but sending it into their own. Not a bad place because they have that hit later. I would guess that David Wiesen would try to set up some guard to prevent that from happening. On sheet 2, Raju and his vice still spending a lot of time looking at the options, trying to figure out exactly what to do here. Personally, I say just lock it up, just continue to throw a lot of junk at the top. Then Raju has a better idea of what's happening on the David Wiesen's rock underway. Baxter signaling no sweeping. Now they come on, trying to drag it as far as they can along that line. Get a deep, tight guard. Difficult. Pretty good, but with that fall, they may still be able to come with a low weight takeout and curl around that.
Yeah, they'd still be able to curl around that, or if they wanted to try the run back on their guard that's sitting just outside the top 12, the guard that the Goliaths just put up had a nice little finish at the end, but not quite enough. So leaving that one exposed as well.
Raju ends up placing, just promoting Jesus' guard very slightly. Probably makes it for that, taking away that angle for that run back, forcing Jesus to try to draw to the button against the curl. Although this is his first rock, he may be setting up something that he can use during his final rock.
Right. We do have that one red rock sitting there on the wing at the tee line, or just in front of the tee line.
You think he's trying an in-off there?
I think he might be trying an in-off here. We'll see what handle he throws here.
Bold shot. She's signaling negative, and you get a bit of fallout there. It could be run very straight.
Yeah. Yeah.
On the in-off, the purpose is less to take out that outside guard than to get that angle to move in towards that center.
Right. Then you provide yourself with a much more favorable in-off for your last shot. Again, Barajas with hammer here in 5. That does appear to be the shot attempt.
Ooh, oh, very close. Just going by. Chris Mina's head hanging. They kept it. Could not quite get that.
That may have missed by an inch.
It may have been.
If that. That was very close.
Very close. And catching just even a little bit, you're going to still across there.
Yeah.
Have a really good chance of getting to the 4 foot, or maybe even taking out.
Yeah, maybe even sitting shot there.
Yeah.
Not necessarily sure that sitting shot was the objective that Barajas wanted there, but again, as we talked about, maybe a multi-shot setup here to come in and get one. But that was, again, oh so close in this game of inches.
Game of inches, definitely. He may still try that shot again, depending on whether Raju is able to. Potentially, if he was able to get a double on that, surprisingly, that rock sitting in the back may come into play as second shot.
Yes.
Oh, just squeaking by the guard on sheet 1, and then curling too much, not able to get the run back that they needed to try to move that in. Dave Wiesen signaling he would like a draw to the 12-foot, sit there trying to block that shot that they almost made a moment ago. Hughes rock coming in. That will remove any chance of that last rock coming into play. There's no way to make that triple.
Unless you've got a cannon of an arm and some.
I think even with the pixie dust, you wouldn't be able to make that shot.
No,
I think the angles simply aren't there. I'm not exactly sure what Jesus is going for now.
Yeah, I think at best right now, I really don't think there's a line to draw coming over here. You might be able. That rock wound up just far enough past the rock that was already sitting there on the wing. This hit and roll that Barajas attempted on the previous shot may still be there. And looking at the ice that Bishop is calling, it looks like they're going to try that again.
I think it's a good call because even if you don't make it, at least you cut Raju down you cut him down in scoring.
Yeah. A shot away, a little less weight. Barajas hoping this moves a little bit. He's made the contact.
Sweeping in. Oh, beautiful shot, but not quite enough. Just looks like 3 inches behind that red rock.
Great attempt by Barajas.
And with that, I've got to sign off for a bit. I'm going to leave Jim here. Ended up looking down at the sheet and seeing Joe Smith. But Jim Muyo, equally as important in my heart. And I'm going to fuel up for my game at 2:15.
2:15. Well, good luck and good curling to you, Evan.
Thanks a lot.
All right, folks. Hope you are enjoying the broadcast here. And looks like it'll be me right now, just flying solo here in the booth to take you the rest of the way. Might get a visitor coming in here in a little bit. We'll see if they come through. So as they're starting the sixth end now on sheet 2, we'll bring you back over to sheet 1. Looks like Great Big T. Looks like this is the hammer rock coming up for Great Big T here on sheet 1. Taking a little bit of time to deliberate what they're going to do. While they are doing that, let me take you around the rink. We'll get you a scoring update. Starting over on sheet 5, where we have Game of Stones and We Drink to Forget, so we pay in advance. We Drink to Forget have made quite the comeback after going down 5-0 in the first 2 ends. Have clawed their way back with a score of 2, a steal of 2, a score of 1, a steal of 3, and now another steal of 2 in the 5th end. So We Drink to Forget, having taken the lead now over Game of Stones, they are now leading 6-5 through 5 ends. They are still in lead rocks in the 6th end over there. Over on sheet 4, we have the Ivy Leaguers and the Broomer Sooners. Broomer Sooners with what looks like we had a steal of 1 in the 5th end, so they now lead that game 6-3 over the Ivy Leaguers. That game also in the 6th end. On sheet 3, the Kiddos versus Ewok Party. They've just pushed the rocks away on the 5th end over on that sheet, so we've yet to see them hang the score for the 5th end. So we'll get that update for you when it gets posted. That score was 6-1 Ewok Party through 4 ends. Ewok Party had a steal of 1 in the 4th to go up an extra point there, 6-1 now. As we look back over at sheet 1 now that that hammer rock has come down, and it looks like that that red on the button is going to be the scoring rock. I couldn't see before they moved it if there was going to be a second shot sitting in front of it. We'll have to double check that, but it looks like one red for sure. May have been two. We'll double check that when we get that hub. Meanwhile, let's go back over to sheet 2. Where Barajas and Raju in the 6th end. Erica Halestock Johnson, the lead for the Barajas rink, with her second shot. Bring it down just ticks the first guard, so Barajas now with a pair of guards sitting just outside the top 12. Raju with the only rock in the house, currently sitting in the top 8. And looks like Raju is calling perhaps for a tap back. Just going to promote that shot rock up to the button if he can. Plan B, as he would be able to punch out a guard. Jesus coming down. Sweeper's not touching this one. That rock actually slowed down quite a bit. I think the play there was for the tap, but unfortunately winds up tapping the center Barajas guard in. So it is now sitting second shot. And Chris Mina will get into the hack for the first of his rocks here in 6. And Mina's shot is away. Sweeper's on this one right away. And Jesus calling him off now. Saw something that he didn't like. Rock sails in, and it looks like it's just going to rub off of the electric slide guard, and it will roll in and bite the top 12, but that is going to put the... looks like from here that the electric slide guard actually is just going to outsit Barajas' shooter there. A little hard to tell from our angle. So Raju sitting 1, Barajas sitting second shot. Tough to tell who's sitting third there. Looks like just enough of that rock that's sitting top 12 for Barajas. That sitting second shot is exposed. Looks like Raju's going to try and clip that out here, and maybe squeak by and promote his shot rock at the same time. Shots away, slowing down considerably once it crosses the hog line there, and actually is just going to tap that top 12 biter and move it about 3 inches or so. So just lines up a couple of red rocks there. And now Barajas is going to go ahead and take out that shot rock here. Second rock from Chris Mina. Good amount of weight on this one. They probably about to control up. Sweepers on, trying to get it past the pack, which they're not able to do. However, this is going to work out well for Barajas, as that has moved the pack of guards around up front, and then out the back squeaks. Barajas' rock, which was sitting in the 12-foot, is now sitting in the back 4, under a little bit of cover. So Barajas now sitting 1, which I think for him to sit 1, that was the plan all along. I don't think he quite planned it like that, but as Evan was saying a little earlier in the broadcast, it's always good to have the plan B. Always want to call that shot and try to execute that shot where you have the plan B. And that's a perfect example of that right there. Meanwhile, over on 1, we have David and the Goliaths currently sitting, looks like first and second. Let's see where that second rock, yeah, that has moved to the back 12. So David and the Goliaths sitting 2 here early in the 6th end. We've still yet to see the score of what got hung there in the 5th end for David and the Goliaths. We know it was 1 for them for sure. It may have been 2, but we'll check that and give you an update on that as soon as we get it. Raju was able to sneak one in through that port to sit second shot. Looks like Barajas is coming right after it. That rock gets by the front guard, and the sweeper's on it now. And it's going to wind up running back the other blue rock that was biting the top 12. It's going to push it back into the 8. Not quite sure if that's going to be enough to be sitting second rock. It's very close from here. If I had to call it from here, I'd say Raju is probably sitting second rock. So we'll go ahead and call that 1 blue for now. Call that 1 blue for now with Raju sitting second. I apologize for stepping away there for a moment. I've actually just been handed my new uniform for the team that I'll be playing with at the Surf City Bonspiel over Father's Day weekend in Southern California, hosted by Orange County Curling Club. So I had a little delivery here in the broadcast booth. Took me away for a second. I apologize for that. As we continue to look at sheet 2, our feature sheet, Barajas again is going to go ahead, and it looks like he's got just enough of a port. Oh boy, that is narrow to try to come through and punch that red rock out. Even if he comes in and clips one of the guards here and moves those to either side, that's not a terrible result. So we'll see what happens here. Jesus not calling for any sweeping. And yeah, it goes ahead and wrecks on the center guard, punching it out the back. Not a bad result for Barajas, as that does now leave that center guard open for a raise potential. We'll see what Barajas is able to do with that in the stones to come. Meanwhile, Raju and his vice Nolan Erstrom are gonna discuss what their game plan is. And the way this game is going, every end has been a score of 1. We've had all 1s in this game through 5 ends. We've had a couple steals by Raju, which has the score now at 4-1 electric slide. So he may be content here, based on the ice he was calling there. He was looking at a guard potential. He may be content here if he thinks that red that's sitting at the top 8, if he believes that is second shot, he may be content here to go ahead and allow Barajas to take 1 here and get the hammer back going into 7. See what happens there as he's lining up that shot. We'll go back over to 1, where David and the Goliaths are sitting 1 now. Looks like whatever rocks we had on the left-hand side of that sheet have either been cleared or moved over to the right. Looks like David and Goliath sitting 1, with Great Big T sitting second, possibly third. And over on 2, Raju does put that guard up just right in the middle of the pack. Unfortunately, that one guard for Barajas that's sitting just to the left of center, still very wide open, and the potential for a hit on that, hit and promote, very much in play here. Bishop's holding the broom just inside the 4-foot on the left-hand side of the sheet, calling for the negative ice to curl away from sheet 3. That's away from the left-hand side of your screen. I'm curious to see what sort of weight Barajas is going to be bringing down on this shot. As again, we've seen a couple odd things with that line. Looks like he's coming down with decent weight. I'd say probably about control. Nothing too crazy. And he's called the sweepers on now. Trying to get back to the outside of that rock. And it winds up hitting the outside of the far left guard and actually promoting the electric slide rock that was sitting back there, moving that into the full 8-foot there on the left-hand side. Not going to be good enough for shot rock, although from this angle it does appear that is going to be good for second shot if the other electric slide rock wasn't already. So electric slide now definitely second shot. Meanwhile, over on 1, David and the Goliaths, looks like they're just trying to put another one into the house with a tap here. It looks like they've done that, so they're now sitting 2 with a little bit of backing. That was the first of the skips rocks here in the 6th end over on sheet 1. And as we bring you that, Raju placing just another guard up front, so he's definitely content to take the hammer into the 7th end and concede a point here to Barajas. Barajas gonna make an attempt for 2, but looks like he's gonna get at least 1. And just a moment ago, that was the bell that we had here for this draw. So when we have the bell, that means you finish the end you are playing, and then you play one more end beyond that. So it looks like on both of our games, we're going to get a maximum of 7 ends in here on both sheets 1 and 2. And here's Barajas' shot. We apologize, the camera's gone out. I'll give you the commentary. Looks like about board plus weight is coming down, and it's just gonna fall off the side. It's gonna hit that far left guard and just roll into the pack. So no additional stones there. So a score of 1 for Barajas in 6. So that makes the score now 4-2 electric slide with 1 end to go. So Barajas is going to be in a tough spot here. Down 2 without hammer, coming home here in 7. Meanwhile, over on sheet 1, we have Stephen Marshall with Great Big T still having a bit of discussion as to what they want to do here on this shot. Again, I apologize. It appears that we've temporarily lost one of our cameras. We'll get that back up and running as soon as possible. Marshall holding the broom just to the outside of the shot rock, which is sitting at the back 4. There is a very, and I want to emphasize, very narrow court between 2 David and Goliaths guards sitting, one actually sitting in the house just biting top 12 and the other one on the center line. This could be a big weight punch-out attempt here. Calling for the negative handle. We'll see what comes down. It does look like we've got good weight, at least the normal weight, maybe a little bit more. We'll see if it's able to hold the line. The sweepers are not being called onto this shot yet. And is that going to get through? Oh, just wrecking on the center line guard. Probably hit that with about an eighth, maybe a quarter of a stone. Great Big T does have hammer in this end, so they will get one more attempt. One rock remaining for both sides. David Wiesen now heading down to the far end to make his final shot of the end. Want to bring you a quick score update. It is handshakes over on sheet 3. They have hung those scores. It was a steal of 3 and then a steal of 1 in the 5th and 6th ends for Ewok Party. So that game has ended in the final score, Ewok Party 10, Kiddos 1 in 6 ends. And we also have another final over on sheet 4. The Brumers Sooners appear to have been victorious in their game. That game has ended. It doesn't look like a score from the 6th end was hung. But we know the score after 5 was 6-3. So we'll go ahead and call that the Brumers Sooners has won that game. Then over on sheet 5, Game of Stones with a 3 spot in the 6th end to go back in front of a big back and forth game there. After we drink to forget, came back from a 5-0 deficit. That game now Game of Stones 8. We drink to forget 6 through 6 ends, and they are in the 7th over there. And David Wiesen, having now just delivered his final rock, it comes to rest, just biting the top 8, so providing a little bit more protection for the shot rock, which is sitting, looks like biting back 4. So actually, from where I'm sitting right now, Dave and the Goliaths are sitting. It would appear that they are sitting 4 right now. So big shot here for Great Big T to come in against 4. Again, the score right now on this sheet is 5-2 in favor of David and the Goliaths. Great Big T definitely not wanting to give up the big end here. And the shot is away. Looks like he's just trying to get it in to come and get in the 4-foot, but unfortunately, it's going to crash on that guard that Wiesen just put up. It looks like that is going to be a score of 4 for David and the Goliaths, and that's going to be it on sheet 1. Great Big T heating out to that large end, so we'll go ahead and call that now a final. So David and the Goliaths with that 4 spot score 9 in this game. David and the Goliaths 9, Great Big T 2, a final in 6 ends. And we're going to stay right here with you. We'll go ahead and bring you through the end of our game on sheet 2. Electric Slide leading this game 4-2 through 6 ends. This, according to the bell that we heard earlier, this should be the final end of this draw. Bell was rung during the 6th end. They'll finish 6 and play 7. So Barajas here needing 2 without hammer to force a draw to the button for the game. And we're in seconds rocks now. Chris Mina. Chris Mina with his 2nd rock. Looks like Barajas is just trying to get this. Trying to get it to come down to the 4-foot. Might be a little strong, although it does appear to be slowing quite a bit down at that end as well. So So looks like sheet 2 maybe not speeding up as quickly as we've seen some of the other sheets speed up today after they're pebbled and nipped. So electric slide now sitting 1. Barajas sitting 2nd. And Richmond Wong now the 2nd for electric slide with his final stone. Coming in with a good amount of weight, just trying to take that rock out. He's actually going to spill both his own and the Barajas shot rock, or second shot, I should say. Electric slide's now going to sit 2. Not a lot of cover up front there, and Jesus immediately calling for the shot rock removal. And actually, perhaps now there's a little bit of conversation going on down the length of the ice between Barajas and his 3rd, Kelly Bishop. Looks like they're debating either the straight takeout or the in-off. And looks like they've changed the shot call. Looks like they're going to try the in-off here. Shot is away. Not a ton of weight on this one, maybe back line. Barajas calling the sweepers on to try to hold that line. That rock is actually going to fall to the outside of the electric slide rock and is going to push it to the back 4. So electric slide now sitting 2 with that shot rock under pretty good protection between the second shot and the Barajas rock at the top of the house. May see gentleman in the back of the house there holding a pebble can. That is Barry Ivy, who has been assisting us as a club member, has been working very hard on maintaining the ice conditions throughout the course of the weekend. Him and a large group of volunteers. Although I think he's going to be waiting a little bit for this end to finish if he's looking to pebble sheet 2 right now. And Nolan Airstrom with his first rock of the 7th end. It's going to be a nice draw to the top 4. Actually winds up lining up a bit of a double possibility for Barajas here. And Kelly Bishop lining up her second shot. And Barajas calling a little more ice on this one. Same handle, gonna try that in off once more. Looks like he's moved the broom closer to center by about a stone's width. So hopefully this rock can stay on the inside of the electric slide rock. The rock is away, the sweepers are staying off of it. Comes down into the house. And it's just going to nose tap the electric slide rock to the back 12. So electric slide should still be sitting 2 at the moment, and they are. And here's Airstrom with his final rock. Looking for the takeout on the Barajas rock that just came down. And that is looking a little wide. That rock's just gonna sail to the outside and flash the house. So Barajas looks like is gonna get another attempt at trying to punch that rock out. As we're now into Skip's rocks. here in this end. Barajas needs to come up with a way to get 2 here. He's down 2 without hammer in what should be the final end of this game. Had the bell ring while this game was still in the 6th end. And looking at this ice and this, which handle he's setting up, looks like Barajas is going to attempt some sort of draw here. Rock is away, thinking maybe he can get around that rock that's sitting at the top of the 12-foot, or perhaps just punch it back a little bit. Actually, looking a little heavy for a draw. He's going to come in. He's going to hit. Wound up with a run back there. Moved a number of rocks around. I do believe Electric Slide is still sitting 2, although a little less cover up front. And now, if you are Electric Slide, you've got to be careful here. Right now there is a run back double possibility for Barajas that he could punch both of those reds out. And I do believe that blue at the top of the house is counting. It is biting, possibly for 3. I'm not sure if that blue at the top 12 is out counting the red at the back 12. If Barajas is able to move both of those red rocks, this is assuming that the shooter spills out. If the shooter sticks around, then he would have 3, possibly 4, and that would be for the win. But that possibility is still there. Raju taking his time on this one. Very critical shot. Meanwhile, as they're deliberating this shot, we'll give you an update on the only other game we still have going on right now, and that's our game over on sheet 5, Game of Stones versus We Drink to Forget. Game of Stones with a 2-point lead after 6 ends in a back-and-forth game that saw them jump out to a 5-0 lead, only to have We Drink to Forget claw back. That game now, Game of Stones up 8-6 in the 7th end. From where I'm sitting, Game of Stones, it looks like, is sitting 3 right now, and they are in the Skips Rocks here in the 7th end. So we'll also keep an eye on that game as we wrap up the game here on sheet 2. All right. Raju talking things over with his front end now, making sure that they are all on the same page. And now Raju getting ready to make his shot. And the shot is away. Raju following right behind this, as he usually does. And the sweepers are not touching this one. That's just gonna come to a rest and protect that blue that is sitting top 12, just biting the top 12 there, just right of center. And now Jesus has got to be looking at that double. Well, He and Bishop, they'll take their time to figure this one out. This is for the game here, folks. All the marbles. Barajas needs to be sitting 2 after this shot. Down 4-2 here in the last end without hammer. So this is Barajas' final shot. Raju will have 1 rock after this. If this game does end in a tie, we will go to Skip's rocks. We will go to a single draw to the button. See what happens here. Barajas' shot is away. Good amount of weight on this. You have it. Oh, just barely. He was able to get 1, but the rebound wasn't able to stick around and roll to get the second. So it winds up being, officially it'll be X's in the 7th, but that's going to be the game. So officially a final of 4-2 with Electric Slide defeating Rock Bottoms. And that will wrap up the play now in pools 5 and 6. So we are almost completely finished now with round robin play. As they're rolling those rocks back, we will just as we recap, we'll keep an eye on that game that's going on 5 right now. But just to give you a preview of what's to come here in our next draw 10, which will be starting at 2:15 local time, approximately 15 minutes from now. We're going to have the final 3 round-robin games of the Spiel with Team Calzone taking on Team Gong. On sheet 1 on our broadcast will be Mountain Mayhem from Lake Curling. We'll be taking on Team Mansell from the San Francisco Bay Area Club. We'll also have Team Mark Krolsky from the Wine Country taking on Team DL of San Francisco. And then we are going to have 2 of our first 2 knockout games of the Bonspiel. So we are now into the quarterfinals of our various events. We're going to bring you first 2 games of the C event quarterfinals. That's going to be on sheets 2 and sheets 4. So we'll have one of those games for you. And again, the quarterfinals in all events are loser go home, or the loser goes home, not lose or go home. I should say win or go home. But it is single elimination from this point forward. Every team will have played their first 3 games, and then beginning with their 4th, it becomes single elimination. There will be a consolation 3rd place game for both the A and B events, which will be taking place tomorrow. So again, we'll have 2 C event quarterfinals. Those opponents, those matchups have been set. Unfortunately, I don't have what they are in front of me. Part of that was determined earlier today when after draw number 8, when pools 1 through 4 wrapped up their round robin play. So now pools 5 and 6 have rounded up, and we're going to have one more game on 7, and then the last pair of games for pool 8 will be on this draw coming up. Draw 10 again at 2:15, approximately 15 minutes from now. Just as we are wrapping up here, looking over at sheet 5, there are handshakes about. It would appear from where I'm sitting, it looks like Game of Stones is sitting at least 1 there. So it looks like that's going to be a win for Game of Stones over We Drink to Forget, So We Pay in Advance. And that is the last game in Pool 5 play. So that's going to do it for us here on Draw 10. I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in today. If you have any comments, please feel free to leave them in the comments here on YouTube. Otherwise, we will see you all here for draw number 10 at 2:15 p.m. Pacific Time. I'm Jim Muyo. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon and good curling.